Indiana Fever front office is in serious trouble for revealing some major information.
The Indiana Fever just got caught in one of the most embarrassing situations you could imagine. And yes, Caitlin Clark is right in the middle of it. This franchise, making millions thanks to Clark, doesn't even have a scouting department. Zero, nothing. And now the proof is out there for everyone to see. Can you believe a pro team doesn't even hire scouts? Stick around, it gets worse. So, how did this whole mess come to light? It started with Stephanie White, head coach of the Connecticut Sun. She was simply praising new player Kyra Lambert, saying she studies the game, prepares well, and even learned parts of the playbook before stepping on the court. Just normal coach talk, right? No drama.
What's going on, especially with the front office and you, whatever it takes to go find these players because they're available?
Yeah.
And is it film study? Is it calling other coaching connections? What is
all
this
the above?
like?
Right. It's all the above. It's seeing film, watching clips, talking to contacts and connections. Bree and especially has been super helpful in this. She's got a lot of contacts overseas who have seen Kyra, for example, play a lot overseas. Teammates that she's had that are over there that played with her, against her. Same thing with Odyssey. All three of our assistant coaches coached her in AU, so they have some familiarity with her. So it really is all hands on deck in trying to get the best person possible to.
But then Coach White said something that raised eyebrows. She explained that Brianna Turner from the Phoenix Mercury was actually the one who spotted Kyra Lambert while she was playing overseas. Hold on, what? A current WNBA player doing scouting work? Since when is that normal? Why is a player overseas basically recruiting talent for another franchise? And even more shocking, why is the Indiana Fever, a team that should have professionals for this job, depending on players to act as part-time scouts if players are scouting instead of the front office? What does that say about this franchise?
Had Kyra been on your radar previously? Like, had she been a name that came up earlier in this process?
No.
So now that you've seen her play a little bit and having scouted a little bit, what is it about her that makes her the right fit for this
Well, I think number one, her preparation. From the initial phone call that Amber and Kelly had to, our conversations. She's been watching the team. She's studying what we're doing, studying how we've played opponents on both ends, what we've done to attack, what we've done on the defensive end. Reminds me a little bit of Ari when she came in and really already kind of had some of the playbook down. Her ability to get downhill. She's got some speed and quickness as well. So all of those things are what we need and what we miss without having.
That's when things really blew up. Fans' online credit to Allison on X started digging up the facts. And what they found was unbelievable. The Indiana Fever, the same franchise cashing in on Caitlin Clark's fame with record jersey sales and TV ratings, doesn't even have a scouting department. Yes, you heard that right. They're running a professional team in 2025 like it's a weekend rec league, where the coach just asks a buddy to recommend players. How can a team chasing championships operate with zero scouts on the payroll? Asterisk.
Hold up, wait a minute. How the hell do Bree Turner discover a player? She's no scout. She's no recruiter. How the hell? She's supposed to be focusing on the season of bad she's playing. John got Bree Turner scouting player.
Now let's put this in perspective. The Indiana Pacers, basically the Fever's big brothers in the NBA, have 8 full-time scouts on staff, 8 people whose job is to travel, watch film, attend games, and uncover the best talent out there. And the Fever, 0, not one official scout assigned to find or evaluate players. Can you imagine running a pro team with no one actually searching for talent? So how do they even operate? Simple, by freeloading. They lean on assistant coaches who know a guy, or on players like Brianna Turner casually recommending someone they've seen overseas. It's a patchwork system, and it's embarrassing for a professional franchise. And here's the kicker: this circus is happening at the exact moment Caitlin Clark has transformed the Fever into a money-printing machine. Just 2 years ago, Indiana was dead last in attendance and barely on the map. Nobody cared. But then came Clark, the #1 pick, the most marketable college star in years, and suddenly the Fever are selling out arenas, shattering TV ratings, and their merchandise sales are up more than 300%. That's the Clark effect. She's not just boosting the Fever, she's carrying the league's financial reputation on her back.
You lied to me. I think their merchandise sales was up like 300%. Y'all done made all them millions off CC.
And still, the Fever front office hasn't hired a single scout. They're making a fortune off Caitlin Clark. But when it comes to actually building a roster around her, they're cutting corners like a bargain dealership. Think about it, this is a once-in-a-generation player, the biggest rookie women's basketball has ever seen. And their grand strategy, save money by skipping the scouting department, really? Who bets on a superstar and then refuses to give her the tools to win? Fans wasted no time calling them out. Screenshots started flying around showing the difference between the Pacers and Fever staff pages. The Pacers have rows of scouts, development coaches, and analytics specialists. Meanwhile, the Fever, ticket sales staff, marketing people, a few assistants, but 0 scouts, not one. Imagine bragging about record jersey sales while admitting you've got no real plan to build a championship team around your star. This is the kind of thing that makes even casual fans shake their heads. And there's another layer we can't ignore: race and culture. Caitlin Clark, a white superstar, is the one generating millions for the league. Meanwhile, black players like Brianna Turner are the ones quietly doing unpaid scouting work just to keep the system moving. That's not just lazy management, it's exploitative. How can the league celebrate one star while leaning on other players to do front office jobs for free? But here's the bigger issue: this isn't only the Fever's problem, it's a WNBA problem. Teams like the Chicago Sky and Minnesota Lynx also don't list official scouting departments. So what's the plan? Just wing it. Rely on players to suggest their overseas teammates and call it talent development. Look at the NBA. They spend millions on scouting because they know the right draft pick can mean the difference between championships and irrelevance. The WNBA, on the other hand, looks like it's just coasting. And that's where the Caitlin Clark effect gets dangerous. Her presence is masking how weak the league's infrastructure really is. Without Clark, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Before Caitlin Clark, nobody cared that the Fever didn't have scouts because nobody was paying attention. But now the spotlight is on, and the league's flaws are being exposed in high definition. You can't hide incompetence when millions are tuning in every week just to watch Clark. And now the whole world is seeing how unprepared the WNBA really is. Let's put it into numbers. Clark is expected to bring in over $100 million in value to the league this season alone between TV ratings, ticket sales, and merchandise. The Fever themselves are selling out games they never would have dreamed of before she arrived. But where's that money going? Not into scouting, not into building a stronger roster. Instead, it looks like more marketing slogans about growth, while Clark takes elbows to the face every night without the right teammates to back her up. And this ties back to that Wall Street Journal editorial claiming Clark's civil rights are being violated by the way she's being officiated. Sounds extreme, sure, but when you zoom out, it fits. The league is squeezing every drop of popularity out of Clark, while doing nothing to protect her or give her a real foundation to succeed. That's why people like Stephen A. Smith are warning if someone like Trump or another political figure jumps in, it could blow up in the WNBA's face. The league is leaving itself exposed because it refuses to handle its own problems. When outsiders start circling, it's a sign the league has already lost control of the narrative. Now, here's how the Fever will likely spin it. Scouting is a collaborative effort. We rely on our coaches and connections. Translation: we're too cheap to hire scouts, so we just ask around and hope something sticks. That might pass for a high school program, but this is supposed to be professional basketball. How can you sell yourself as elite while running your team like a part-time hobby? And the irony couldn't be louder. This is the same league demanding higher salaries, bigger TV deals, and more respect. But if you want paychecks to rise and credibility to grow, you can't skip the fundamentals. Scouts aren't a luxury, they're the foundation of every successful franchise. Look at the NBA. It didn't become a multi-billion-dollar empire by saying, hey, let's just let players do the scouting overseas. They invested in infrastructure, in systems, in the boring but necessary work that makes the product great. The NBA grew into a global empire because it invested in the infrastructure, the systems, the staff, the unglamorous but essential parts that make the product better. Meanwhile, the WNBA wants NBA-level salaries, but still operates like it's being run out of somebody's garage. You can't demand the rewards of a billion-dollar league while cutting corners like a startup, and this is where Caitlin Clark's career is in real danger. Her prime years won't last forever. She's already battling physical play in a league that doesn't exactly protect her. If the Fever keep operating like amateurs, her legacy could take a hit before it even begins. You can't expect her to deliver championships when the front office won't even hire people to find the right players to put around her without real investment. Clark risks becoming a superstar held back by her own franchise. That's why. This scandal is more than just an embarrassing oversight. It exposes how little the WNBA has invested in its own growth. And here's the part the Fever front office doesn't seem to get: scouting isn't just about finding random talent. It's about maximizing Clark's career. She's not the kind of player who can thrive with just anybody on the court. She needs shooters to spread the floor, defenders to ease the constant double teams, and bigs who can run the pick and roll. None of that happens by chance. You need real scouts who understand how to build a roster around her. But instead of preparing for her future, the Fever are gambling with it. Right now, the Fever's plan is basically, maybe this random overseas player will work out, maybe an assistant coach remembers someone from years ago, maybe a current player has a buddy who can play. That's not strategy, that's desperation. Hope and guesswork is not how you build a championship team. Now, think about the optics. Imagine being Caitlin Clark. You've delivered the WNBA its biggest ratings boost ever. You're bringing in millions every single night. And then you find out your team doesn't even employ scouts. That's not just underinvesting, that's a slap in the face. It screams, we don't care about winning. We just care about selling your jerseys and filling the arena. What message does that send to the superstar carrying your entire league? Ask yourself this: if Clark had been drafted into the NBA, would this fly? No chance. The Pacers would never risk wasting Tyrese Halliburton's prime without a full scouting staff, development coaches, and analytics experts. But with Clark, suddenly it's fine to cut corners because she'll sell tickets no matter what. And here's the kicker: the WNBA keeps asking for more respect, more money, and more national coverage, but in the same breath, they're admitting they don't even have scouts. That's like demanding a Michelin star while serving instant ramen. You can't have it both ways. Either you invest like a professional league, or admit you're running a semi-pro operation that just happens to have one massive superstar holding everything together. And here's what the Fever front office doesn't seem to understand: you can't fake infrastructure forever. At some point, when Caitlin Clark's rookie contract is up, she's going to ask herself, is Indiana really the place to spend my career? If the answer is, where to cheap to hire scouts, then don't be shocked if she explores expansion teams or free agency options where management actually cares about winning. What happens when Clark decides her future is brighter somewhere else? And the sad part is, this whole mess could have been avoided with the simplest move: hire one scout. Just one full-time professional whose only job is to evaluate talent. If they had done that, none of this controversy even exists. But instead, the Fever exposed themselves as a franchise more focused on short-term profits than building a lasting foundation.